Hello everyone, Ranjita here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to talk about stamps, but not the traditional ones. I am here to show you how to get started with digital stamps. Digital stamps are now getting popular and open an entirely new world, especially if you enjoy coloring. For today's demonstration, I am using digital stamps from Varda Sharma Designs. However, you have many companies offering a lot of freebies for you to try on with. Without any further delay, let's quickly get into the video. The program I am using here is Microsoft Publisher. However, the procedure remains same for pretty much any software you're using. So here I am starting with a blank page that measures the size of a standard A2 sized card. When you purchase a digital stamp, you get to download them and save it into your system. I am importing one such design here and bringing it onto the blank page that I am playing around with. This is a background stamp, and for the design that I have chosen here, I wanted to have this subtle background all over my page randomly. The best part of digital stamps is you can change the orientation, size, or even the color of the image. So here I am clicking on the image and I am then trying to edit the image, and I am changing the color of the image and turning it into a light gray. This is because I wanted this image to be very subtle on the background, something similar to our second generation stamping if you're using your traditional stamps. Once I am happy with the image, I am copying the image and I am pasting it randomly all over the page, just like how I would stamp all around the page with my background stamps. The best part with digital stamps is you can do everything that you do with traditional stamps, but in a much more easier and simpler way. That is, you do not need to invest on a ton load of inks. At the same time, you can also resize your image according to your project. Once I am happy with the background, I am going ahead and selecting another image from the same Varda Sharma collection. This time I am taking this big pot here and I am adjusting the size according to my page here. I am also selecting these florals that would go well into my pot here. In traditional stamping, if you need to bring an image forward or if you need to push an image into the background, you need to add masks. But whereas with digital stamps, it is just a click away. All you need to do is just select the image and align the position, and either you can push it backward or you can bring it forward. I am moving the images until I am happy with the alignment and position of the image. Like I told you, you can also click on the image and change the color of the outline here. But I wanted this image to be my focal point, so I am keeping the borders in black and bold. Alternatively, you can make the borders even more lighter if you are planning to do some no-line coloring. This is the best way you can play around with the color of your image according to the coloring you are planning to do. Now that I am happy with my card design, I will go ahead and give a print. But before hitting on the print icon, I will make sure that the page size that is selected is exactly the one I want. Usually the default size is A4, but make sure you select the right page size according to your project. Once the page size is selected, you get a preview as such here. Make sure that the design is exactly like how you were planning. For example, here there is a lot of space here and I wanted the whole image to come a little downward and leftward. So before giving a print, I am making some final corrections. I will go back and bring this image slightly left and downward so that there is not too much space on the left bottom corner. This is something you will never be able to do with your traditional stamps. Once a mistake done is usually a mistake done, but I think that is the beauty of traditional stamps as well. So now that I am happy with my design, I will go ahead and give a print. Before giving a print, make sure that you load your printer with the exact paper type that you want. That is, if you're planning to do watercoloring, make sure that you load watercolor paper. And if you're doing alcohol marker coloring, make sure to load the suitable paper. Now let's quickly go ahead and check out the second design. For the second design as well, I am choosing a similar paper size of a standard A2 size card. And then I have selected my image that I want. This is the beautiful rose here. Like I told you, you can align your image and change the position and orientation as you want. So as you can see here, I am rotating the image and making it at an angle so that it comes to one corner. Once I am happy with the size and orientation of the image, I am going ahead, clicking it and copying it. Once I copy it, I'm clicking on the image and I'm rotating it twice so that they become exactly mirror images here. Mirror stamping and repeat stamping becomes so easy with digital stamps. Just like how I have done with the first example, I am making sure that I am checking my card preview here. So as you can see here, I'm not happy with the spacing. So I will go back and play around with the position of the stamp a little more until I am happy with the alignment. Once when you're happy with the orientation and alignment of your floral images, you can go ahead and directly add a sentiment to your card. That is, with one print, you will get the entire card printed out. This is the best way when you are doing multiple cards at a time or mass producing the same card many times. However, I choose to print my sentiments later because I prefer adding them with some dimension. So I'm not printing the sentiment here. Once when you are happy with your design, you can go ahead and print it right away, or alternatively you can save your image for printing it later or elsewhere. So for the third design example here, I'm showing you how you can align your images so that you can print multiple images at once. Good quality cardstock doesn't come cheap. So I do not like to waste my cardstock while printing them. So this is an example where I'm showing you how you can maximize and use every bit of your cardstock. So in this example here, I am importing many images that I would be using for not just one project but on many cards. So I have some floral clusters here. At the same time, I have some sentiments which would be either going onto many cards or I would save them for future purpose. It's always handy to have some printed sentiments ready so that when you want to make a card on the go, you will always have some sentiments ready. So I am aligning my images here so that I can maximize the space and fit in as many images as I can on the size of paper that I have chosen. Once happy, I will go ahead and print it. This way I will not waste any cardstock. So here you can see I've printed out all my card bases. All I need to do is color them and turn them into beautiful cards. So first we will color this image. Before moving ahead to coloring, I would like to share some tips with you. Though I'm not an expert in coloring, but these tips help me a lot in making some beautiful color combinations. I prefer using a color wheel like this. This comes in very handy when you want to choose different colors for your card. That is, this wheel shows you complementary colors. It gives you an idea of split complementary colors. So for example, here in this card that I have shown you in my previous videos, I have chosen yellow and purple. So in the wheel, if you see, purple and yellow are complementary colors. So taking them in my card would make it more aesthetic and pleasing to the eye. So if you are a beginner in coloring, having a color wheel by your side will always help you in bringing some beautiful color combinations. I am a very beginner in coloring, but I have learned all my coloring while watching others color. So here I am sharing with you a little glimpse of how I color this beautiful floral cluster. I hope it would benefit you and you would learn something from the way I color. So as you can see here, first I am starting with my leaves. While coloring the leaves, I'm not doing a lot of fancy coloring, but I would go with a lighter shade first all over the leaf. Since this is a very small image, I am coloring all my leaves at once. If it was a bigger image, I would color one leaf at a time, because then my ink would dry out and would not help me in blending them perfectly. But here the images are very small, so I can quickly fill in the colors. Like I told you, first I am starting with a very light shade. Then I would add a little shadow with a darker shade here. Then I would come in with a middle shade and then blend in the two. And in case if I want to add more color, I would come with a darker shade. So for the tulips here, I am choosing a combination of pink and yellow here. Tulips come in a variety of colors, but this one is my favorite combination. So as you can see here, I am adding a little bit of yellow and then a little bit of pink, and then I'm blending them both together. Keeping the time duration of the video in mind, I have sped this video, but definitely this is not how fast I color. I'm definitely much slower while I color, but if I show you the entire process in its regular speed, the video would be much longer. For coloring today's images, I am using Ohuhu markers. These are alcohol based markers, and I'm having the shades of the inks here while I'm coloring. As you can see here, first I'm coming with a shade of pink, and then I'm adding the shade of yellow, and then I'm blending them both together before the ink dries. I will be doing pretty much the same with all the buds and all the flowers in my cluster here. I've chosen to color my images with alcohol markers here. But however, you can color them with any coloring medium of your choice. Like you can color them with color pencils or watercolors or anything else. But all I wanted to say is, plan your coloring medium well ahead. This is because since you're printing your digital images, make sure that you print it onto a paper that is suitable to your coloring medium. That is, if you print your images onto regular cardstock, it might not be able to take watercolor as much as a regular watercolor paper would. So this is the reason I keep mentioning that make sure to plan your coloring medium well ahead before printing your images. I've chosen to color my pot blue. This is again based on the color wheel that I showed you. The colors yellow, blue and pink go very well together. That is the reason I told you, in case if you are a beginner and having trouble in selecting your color combinations, make sure you invest on a good coloring wheel, or you can always print it out from the internet. Half your job is already done if you chose the right colors. So here you can see I'm first going with a lighter shade of blue, and with a slightly darker shade I'm going ahead and adding some shadows. Then I'm blending both the shades together, and then to finish up the entire thing, I'm adding the darker shade of blue and making the shadows much more darker. The entire coloring took around 15 to 20 minutes, so this is definitely not how fast I color. I went ahead and colored all the other images. I will be sharing the detailed coloring videos on my social media. Now let's go ahead and put these cards together. I'm starting with an A2 sized card base here in the shade of blue. Over this I'm taking some liquid adhesive and adhering my card panel here. All the cards in today's video are very simple. I wanted to keep the design simple because I wanted to focus on showing you how to play around with digital stamps and how to start off with digital stamps, how to download them and align them and print them according to your needs. So as you can see here, first I've adhered the panel here, and then I'm adding the sentiment here with some double-sided foam adhesive just to add some dimension to the sentiment. With this, we are done with our first card. Now let's move ahead and make the second card. For the second card, I am starting with an A2 sized red card base here, and onto that I am adhering my colored panel here. I haven't shared the coloring of these images. However, like I told you, I will be sharing detailed coloring of these images on my Instagram. All the links for my social media handles will be shared in the description below. It would be nice to see you drop by there. These cards are very simple and quite quick to make. All I have done is I have taken some liquid adhesive and adhered my card panel onto an A2 sized card base here, and then I am mounting my sentiment over it with some double-sided foam adhesive. This finishes our second card as well. Now for the third project, I am not doing a card, but I am making a quick tag. I've cut out some white cardstock here in the size of tag that I wanted to have, and then I'm quickly inking up a little distress oxide, blending it with a light hand on my background. This step is entirely optional. If you do not have too many card supplies, you can entirely skip this step. However, you can add some color onto your background with using some soft pastels or any other coloring mediums as well. Once I'm happy with my background, I'm going ahead and adhering my floral cluster with some liquid adhesive and adding my sentiment strips here with some double-sided foam adhesive. This makes a quick and easy tag. With this, we come to an end of today's video. I have shown you how you can use digital stamps and turn them into beautiful cards. You can see the close-up images of all the finished projects here. I hope I was of some inspiration to you, and you would definitely give digital stamps a try. I'm sure they would open a new world for your coloring. You can use them not just on your cards and tags, but you can use them for your scrapbooking projects and many more. If you found this video helpful and you make something similar, make sure to tag me along on my social media. I would love to see what you create. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will be back soon with some more crafty inspiration. Until then, bye.